Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through some of the problems on the 3E assignment. First one here is number 1, draw a sign diagram for each graph. Okay, so for this one here, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out when it's positive and when it's negative. So sign diagram is simply going to look like this. Where it changes from negative to positive is at 2. To the left of 2, or to the negative side, it's actually negative. And then to the right of 2 is when it is positive, and that there is a sign diagram. Okay, so on E, we will draw ourselves our line here, and it looks like it hits right here at -2, so we would really just put a -2 in there. And to the left of -2, it's negative. To the right of -2, it's also negative. There's our sign diagram. Okay. For I here, it crosses at -3, at 0, and at 4. So to the left of -3, it's negative. To the right of -3 up to 0, it's positive. And from 0 up to 4, it's still positive, and then after 4, it goes back to negative because now it's underneath. Okay? Okay. Looking at the next one here, draw a sign diagram for x plus 2 squared. We got all this stuff here. Now, since we have the technology, let's just use our technology, don't you think? Well, if I can get the technology to work. So we got y equals. We're going to clear out anything that we already have in there. And let's see, we can just do x plus 2 squared. So we can just kind of look and see what it looks like on here and just do like what we did on the first one here. So we've got parentheses x plus 2 squared. And then we're simply going to, let's do zoom. It's always good right at the very beginning to do zoom standard, just to make sure it's all in the it's all a 10 by 10 grid. Just makes it easier when we're graphing stuff. All right, so if we're drawing our sign diagram there, it looks like it's hitting there at -2. So we draw this sign diagram here. We put -2 on there, and if you'll notice, it's positive to the left of -2 and it's positive to the right of -2. So positive, positive. Okay. For this one here, same thing, go into y, oops, just go into y equals, somehow it got on second. Let's see, we'll do clear, and now we're going to do this. So I'm just going to do -0.5 parentheses 2x plus 5, and that whole thing is squared. We already did zoom standard, so we should be fine on that again. Let's see what this graph ends up looking like. So here it comes. It looks like it's hitting right there at like -2.5. And I don't see anything else happening down there. Although the little wheel of death is, nope, still, that's all it's hitting right there. If we're going to draw our sign diagram for that, -2.5 looks like where it hits there. So we just make our line. -2.5, and it's negative. To the left of it it's negative, and to the right of it's negative, so a sign diagram would look like that. Okay, one more to take a look at. Draw a sign diagram for each of these. Sorry, this is just the second part of 4, it looks like, or part of 4. So let's pull these up and put these in. Clear. I'd like to put that in its own fraction, so I'm going to go to math. I want to go over to fractions, so I'm going to take a shortcut and go to the left, and there's our fraction button. So I'm going to do x plus 2 on the top, and then on the bottom I got x minus 1, and then we're going to graph that thing, see what it looks like. Alright, so here it comes, cruising in here, going down there, and then it looks like it's going to come back up. Yep, there it is. So sign diagram looks like that thing's cutting through at about -2, right? And it doesn't hit anything else over there. but there is an asymptote right here at 1, so we want to go -2, and we want to do 1 for our sign diagram. So we do -2, and then really officially what they've got is asymptote. You draw a little asymptote there, and that's at 1. So then we just want to figure out what's happening. So to the left of -2, it's positive. To the right of -2, all the way up to the asymptote, it's negative. So this would be positive, this will be negative, and then to the right of the asymptote, it looks like it's all positive over here. So that would be our sign diagram. Okay. For G, we'll put this one in here. And we already have a fraction, so I might just go through and try to modify this fraction. I'll do 3x, and just delete that last part, and then we're all over x minus 2. Oops. There we go. And we graph that and see what that looks like. And here we go, much anticipated as we wait for this thing to slowly graph. There's the first part, there's the second part. So it's kind of similar to A. But it looks like we've got, it crosses at 0, and there's an asymptote at 1, 2. Looks like it's right here at 2. That's my best guess. Yeah, that's at 2. Okay, so we're going to draw a sign diagram with that 0 and 2 are our 2 key points there. So we got 0, and then 2 was our asymptote, right? So that's going to look like that. And then we simply look what's happening to the left of 0. It's positive. To the right of 0 is negative. So positive, negative. And then to the right of the asymptote, everything is positive. Okay, so it looks like that. Okay. All right, that's all we have for the 3 problems. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.